In the heart of Hong Kong, behind the neon glow of the streets, a horrifying secret was hidden inside a child's toy. A Hello Kitty doll stuffed with a human skull. This isn't fiction. It's one of the most chilling true crime cases in history. A young woman kidnapped, tortured for weeks, and ultimately dismembered, all over a few $100s. This is the story of the Hello Kitty murder, and it's far worse than you think. Fan Man-yee was just 23 years old. Abandoned as a child, raised in an orphanage, and battling addiction before she was even old enough to vote. She turned to sex work and later became a nightclub hostess. She would do anything to survive. But by 1999, Fan was trying to start over. She had a husband, a baby son, a second chance, but that didn't stop the past from catching up. One of Fan's clients was a triad member named Tsim Sha Tsui, a drug dealer with power and no mercy. According to reports, Fan stole around 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, about $500 from him. When Chan found out, he demanded repayment, with interest. Fan paid some back, but not enough. So he made a decision. One that would haunt Hong Kong forever. In March 1999, Fan was kidnapped and taken to a run-down apartment in Tsim Sha Tsui. It was a drug den where many people disappeared and never returned. For over a month, Fan was violently tortured daily. They beat her with metal bars, forced her to drink motor oil, burned her with plastic, made her eat human feces, forced her to smile while she cried in agony. Most shockingly of all, it was witnessed by a 14-year-old girl, Chan's underage girlfriend. At some point in April, Fan died. Whether from trauma, starvation, or both, nobody knew and nobody seemed to care. What the kidnappers did next would not only go down as one of the most shocking murders in Hong Kong's history but the entire world. They chopped her body into several pieces, boiled her head to strip off the flesh. Her organs were thrown out, but her skull was placed inside of a Hello Kitty mermaid doll. It would take weeks for anyone to find out, but when they did, it was that doll that gave this case its chilling signature. Tsim Sha Tsui's underage girlfriend Ah Fong, who had watched it all, came forward. She told the police everything in full horrific detail. At first they didn't believe her. The story sounded too twisted and more like something out of a horror movie, but Ah Fong's persistence was convincing enough to make them search the apartment. That's when Hong Kong police found the only remains of Fan Man-yee. Her head was found inside of a Hello Kitty plush doll. The trial of the Hello Kitty killers began in November 2000, over a year after the gruesome discovery that rocked Hong Kong. What followed was one of the most shocking court cases in the region's history, not only for its cruelty, but for how justice nearly slipped through the cracks. The defendants, Tsim Sha Tsui, 34, Lung Wai-lun, 27, and Lung Xingqiu, 21, were not charged with murder at first. Prosecutors pursued murder, but faced an uphill battle because only the skull and a few internal organs were recovered. The lack of a full body meant no conclusive cause of death could be proven, a key requirement under Hong Kong law for a murder conviction. The prosecution, led by senior counsel David Lung, aimed to prove that Fan Man-yee died as a direct result of torture and unlawful detention. The defense attorneys argued that Fan had died from a drug overdose, or possibly natural causes, during her captivity, not from the beatings. Yes, they tortured her, one lawyer admitted in open court. But that doesn't prove they killed her. The 14-year-old girl, known only as Ah Fong, was the prosecution's key witness. She testified for over 5 days in grueling detail, describing the daily abuse, how Fan's condition worsened, and how the men laughed as they tortured her. She claimed that when Fan died, they cooked her body in a pot and used chopsticks to stir the boiling remains. Her testimony was backed by physical evidence, Fan's skull, some internal organs, and blood found in the flat. A pathologist testified that there were signs of prolonged physical abuse, including severe cranial damage, burn marks, and blunt force trauma. However, because the body was boiled and dismembered, the cause of death couldn't be medically certified. We know she suffered, but we cannot prove how she died, the forensic team concluded. After 6 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for 5 days. On December 6, 2000, the 3 men were found not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and interfering with a corpse. Justice Peter Nguyen, the presiding judge, told the court, "Never in my career have I encountered such cruelty." He sentenced all 3 men to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 20 years, the maximum penalty allowed for manslaughter in Hong Kong. The case gripped Hong Kong, not just for its violence, but for what it revealed: poverty, abuse, and a system that failed women like Fan Man-yee. The apartment was rumored to be haunted. Some said you could still hear her screams. Others just avoided the building altogether. What happened to Fan Man-yee wasn't just a murder. It was a slow, systematic erasure of a life that still shocks the nation to this day. If you found this story as disturbing as we did, subscribe to Worldwide Crime Time for more deep dives into the darkest true crime cases around the world.